Good morning, guys. Am I audible? Am I audible to all of you? Good morning, Bhani. I am good, Bhani. Thanks. How about you? How are you guys? Everything is okay at your home with your health and about your studies? Okay, great. What about others? Yeah, Tejasvi, good morning, beta. Yeah, good morning, Dharm Show Santosh. Good morning. So we can start, beta. It is 10 o'clock. So, have you revised all the concepts which I have taught in previous classes regarding mole concept 1 as well as significant figure? So any doubt regarding that? Or have you revised those notes or not? Have you revised those notes? Revised. What about others? Please unmute yourself, beta. Okay, fine. So yes, revise. Sir, can you explain about parts per million? I will explain it in the current topic. Parts per million is nothing but weight of solute upon weight of solution, right, beta, into 10 raised to 6. So parts per million, Vani, it is nothing but weight of solute upon weight of solution or solvent. You can take solvent or solution because parts per million are calculated. Parts per million concept is defined for dilute solution in which solute is present in very limited amount or in very less amount, right? So we want to check amount of solute present in 10 raised to 6 gram. So amount of solute present in 10 raised to 6 gram of solvent or solution, right? If you go through the definition, then you will recall it easily. Yeah, Deepak, good morning, beta. So how are you guys? Yes, okay. Great, great, Arpit. Good morning, Arpit. So, see, I am writing something. Can you all see this? Can you all see this? Is it readable? Yeah, Deepak, I am good. Is it readable to all? Please quickly respond. Yes, fine. So if you have any problem, right, you can tell me regarding visibility, or you are not, I am not audible, my sound is breaking. Okay, Swati, thanks for your response. Okay, so in the previous topic, if you see, in the previous topic, it was related to mole concept 1. Basically, mole concept we study in 2 parts. First one is mole concept 1, that all the concept related to mole concept 1 we have already discussed regarding mole calculation. Second was related to some, we have learned something about stoichiometry. Then we tried to understand the concentration terms. These were the 3 broad topics which we have covered till now. Concentration terms. So, yeah, good morning, Sai Shraddha. So these are topics which we have already covered. Okay, but there are certain things which we have not covered yet, like normality, equivalence, right? So these concepts are also important to solve the problem related to stoichiometry, and it is also related to concentration term. But to understand this, we require some other concept. Before that, to understand this normality and equivalent concept, we require certain extra knowledge. Okay, so that extra knowledge or extra topics we are going to cover now, that is mole concept 2. Mole concept 2 is nothing but it is volumetric analysis. इसी को हम वॉल्यूमेट्रिक एनालिसिस बोलते हैं बेटा. दिस इज ऑल्सो equivalent concept, right? Equivalent concept. But if you see NCERT, then this topic is termed as in the second part of NCERT, that is redox reaction. So basically in this topic, we will have broad understanding about redox reaction. What are redox reactions? So any one of you who can tell me how do you define redox reaction? Any one of you having some basic idea? That will also work. How do you define redox? What is redox process? Any one of you? Yeah, great. Reactions which deals with, very good. Yes, Yaswant, you are right. Karthik, you are also right. So any reaction which deals with the reduction as well as oxidation simultaneously. So redox, if you see, no beta, that is not necessary, Hanok. Redox is made up of yes. Am I audible? Yeah, no issues. Now it is okay. Now it is okay. Now is it okay, beta? Yeah, fine. So I will repeat it.
Okay.
Redox reaction, yeah, but redox reactions are those reactions which deals with reduction as well as oxidation. Okay, so what is reduction, what is oxidation? I will give you some brief idea, right? Then later we will understand in detail what are the other concepts related to reduction and oxidation. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to deal with some reactions which deals with reduction and oxidation. So this is particular type of reaction which we are going to study in this topic. Then at the same time we will also going to understand acid base titration. Okay, acid base titration. So reaction related to acid base, that is neutralization reaction. So we can define types of reaction. Types of reaction in inorganic chemistry can be defined as, they can be classified into various things. The first thing is precipitation. Then second is redox reaction. Then third is, the third type of reaction is neutralization reaction or acid base reaction. This is how we can define some reactions, right? So precipitation reactions are those reactions in which something is getting precipitated. It is getting precipitated after the process, either one reactant or any reaction in which one of the component which is in the presence of solid or which is already in precipitated state. So those kind of reaction are known as precipitation reactions. So we will deal each of them separately in respective topics, but in this topic we are going to deal with redox reaction, and another is acid base reaction related to acid base substances or compounds, right? So I am just listing some topics which we are going to cover in this topic. The first thing is oxidation number. The first thing is beta oxidation number. Then second is what is oxidizing agent and reducing agent. So this topic is going to give you some knowledge about very important topics of chemistry, and those topics are very critical. Just a second. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. So we are going to understand some very important topics. Okay, small topics, and these topics will be required to solve problems of other topics as well. Yeah. So the next is oxidizing and reducing agent. Then we will study about balancing of redox reaction. How do we balancing of redox reaction? Then next we will move to equivalent concept, equivalent and normality. What is equivalent weight? How do we define equivalence, and why do we require equivalent? Normality. Then fifth is related to titration. We will understand some different types of titration, right? Titration like acid base titration, acid base. Then some other double titration, back titration. These are some terms. Then some very important are iodometry and iodimetry. So using these concepts, we are going to using initial four. These are the basic concepts. The first, second, third, and fourth. We are going to apply all the above first, second, third, fourth concept to deal with these titration. Then another thing which we are going to study in this is labeling of percentage labeling of oleum. Percentage labeling of oleum. We will understand what is oleum. They will if you see in JEE, they do ask direct question from or concept related to oleum. Then seventh is volume strength of H2O2. Then there will be percentage of chlorine in bleaching powder. right? So these are some broad topics. There might be one or two other topics which we will study, right? So so before starting oxidation number or oxidizing agent or reducing agent, I just want to give you brief idea about redox reaction. How do we define redox reaction? What do we understand from redox reaction? So as someone of you, one of you has told me, Yaswant and Karthik has responded that redox reactions are those types of reaction which deals with reduction and oxidation simultaneously, right? So I will give some example. What do we understand by reduction process? Till now, reduction process. What do we understand by reduction process? Okay. So first is, yeah, great. But I will share these notes. Deepak. So do not worry. Just try to listen. So if something is very important, if I ask you to write something, then you will write. If you find some formulas, some important concept, then write them. Otherwise, I will be sharing these notes with you just after the class, right? So just try to listen carefully. So reduction process. So yes, Karthik, you are very right. Any process in which gain of hydrogen, very nice, gain of hydrogen or any electropositive element. I will define what do we understand by electropositive. Then second is loss of oxygen or any electronegative element. So just listen. These are some very basic things and but very useful. So loss of oxygen or electronegative element. So let me define one term, electronegativity. What do we understand by electronegativity? Any one of you? Any one of you? Have you ever heard about this term electronegativity? Yes, ability of atom to attract something. Okay, Deepak. Karthik, you have tried well, but electronegativity is nothing. It is ability of any element or any atom to attract the pair of electron, shared pair of electron. It is ability of any element or atom, any atom of element to attract shared pair of electron. So let me give you some basic thing. You must have studied in previous classes 9th and 10th. Yes, share pair of electron. Very good. Okay. Let's say there is formation of hydrogen. So how hydrogen will form? One electron from hydrogen, this, and one electron from the other hydrogen will be shared to form a bond. So they will form a bond and now they will become a molecule. So if you see in this case, this is a molecule in which both the atoms are belongs to same element. If you see in this case, both the atoms belongs to same element. So in this case, both will be having same electronegativity. So electrons will be situated in between. They will be situated in between, right? The electrons will be present just in between, right? Neither they will be tilted toward there or neither they will be shifted there, right? So this is just sharing of electron. So this happens in covalent bonds. Till now we haven't studied about covalent and ionic, but in the topics chemical bonding, periodic properties, we are going to study about those different type of bonds. So if there are same types of atoms present in any molecule, then electrons will be situated in the between. Okay, for example, chlorine, they will share one electron and it will lead to bond formation. So in this case also electrons will be situated in between. But if I take any other example of HCl, so in this case hydrogen will contribute one and chlorine will contribute one electron, and now they will be formed like this. And what we have seen that in this case electrons are not present in the between. They are slightly attracted towards chlorine. If you see, the electrons, shared pair of electrons are attracted towards chlorine. So we can say the electronegativity of chlorine is higher or more than hydrogen. Is it okay, beta? Is it okay? So such kind of example you will see in heteroatomic molecules. Heteroatomic molecules in which different kind of atoms are present, or atoms from the different elements are present. Hetero-homo, do you understand why? What do you understand the concept hetero and homo? What do you understand by hetero and homo? Yeah, very good. Hano, hetero means different and homo means same type of atoms. So you will see, I can give you some other examples. HF, if you see in HF, then also you will see that electrons are placed towards the fluorine. So fluorine, we can say fluorine is also more electronegative than hydrogen, right? So in the periodic table, we are going to learn the concept related to electronegativity, right? Till now everything is okay. Please unmute yourself, beta. Please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. It is disturbing the class.
Disturbance is coming, sir.
What?
Disturbance is coming, sir, always.
Yeah, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself, beta. Yes. So am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir, now.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so electronegativity, it is a concept. It tells about the ability of any atom to attract the shared pair of electron. If someone can attract the electron, just a second. No, just a second. Electronegativity. Did you get this concept? Electronegativity. There is a particular order. Okay. So for example, I am writing some elements: fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So the most electronegative is fluorine. For now, you can remember that fluorine is the most electronegative element of, it is the most electronegative element of the table, of the periodic table. And oxygen is second most. It is second most. It is second most electronegative element. Okay. So you can remember at least these, right? So do you all understand Hindi? Do you all understand Hindi? I can tell you one mnemonics.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I am just writing phone kal bura aaya. Phone kal bura aaya. Okay, so phone, it you can see this is phone, phon. Chlorine is kal, this is bura, and this is aya. If you want to remember, you can remember. Please unmute yourself, beta.
Sir, tell them to mute, sir, not to unmute.
Yeah, please mute yourself, beta. Mute. I am muting all of you. Beta, I will ask the management to compulsory mute all. That will not be okay. I think now it's okay. Now you cannot unmute yourself. Okay. Now it's okay. Yeah, beta. Just remember, phone kal bura aya. So this is phone, phon. Chlorine for kal, right? In Hindi I write like this. Bromine is bura, and iodine is aya. Very important series. They will ask directly question. They will pick any four of them and they will ask you to arrange in decreasing or increasing order, right? So at least you can remember phone kal bura aya. Then you can remember S. Then you can remember carbon. Then you can hydrogen. At least you can remember this. So you can, for sulfur, sun, kar, hadkaya. I do not know what to call in Telugu. Okay, so you can remember that hydrogen is placed here. And after this there will be placing of metals. So can you remember this? Can you remember this? It is going to be very useful. Phone kal bura aya, in which F is fluorine, O for oxygen, and for nitrogen chlorine. So these are all very electronegative. These are electronegative. You see all the non-metals are present here. These are non-metals, beta. Can you see? These are all non-metals, beta. Fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, all of them. And if you see, this is halogen, this is halogen, then chlorine, halogen, bromine, iodine. So they are all most electronegative elements. So first is the most is fluorine, then second most is oxygen, then you can see nitrogen, then chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. So I was telling you the reduction can be defined as gain of hydrogen or any electropositive element, that is metal. Okay, metals are considered as electropositive. So it's just opposite. If something is electronegative, then it is less electropositive. If something is less electronegative, then that is more electropositive. Is that okay, beta? Is that okay with everyone? Please respond. Is that okay with everyone? Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Please quickly respond. Okay, and loss of oxygen or loss of any electronegative element will be termed as reduction, right? So if something is there, SO3, let's say I am taking this example, SO3, and it gives SO2 and half O2. So you can see oxygen is, loss of oxygen is taking place, loss of oxygen. Example. Then there can be another example, PCl5 giving PCl3 and Cl2. you can see loss of chlorine, that is loss of electronegative atom, right? Loss of electronegative atom. So this will also be termed as reduction. Or if you want to say, take any example of hydrogen wala, right? So you can write NH3 giving to N2 plus hydrogen, right? This is our favorite equation. So in this case, just let me reverse it. Nitrogen plus 3H2 giving 2NH3. So this is gain of hydrogen. This will also be termed as reduction. Is that okay, beta? So these are 3 examples I have given you. There can be many others. Nitrogen plus hydrogen, or in any process, if you are gaining hydrogen, then it will be termed as reduction. Or if you are removing oxygen or chlorine, then that will be termed as, or any electronegative atom, then also it will be termed as reduction. Is that okay, beta? Is that okay? Beta, this is electronegative element, chlorine. So you see here there are five chlorines, and now here is only 3 chlorine. So with respect to phosphorus, if you see with respect to phosphorus, then there is loss of 2 chlorines, right? I am just giving you one note. Just remember that if in any process, decrease in oxidation number is taking place, because after 10 or 5 minutes I am going to explain the concept of oxidation number, then we will require this note. If any reaction, oxidation number of any element is decreasing, right? Decreasing, then it will also be known as, this is modern concept, we can say, it will also be known as reduction. Okay. Then there is also another concept. You can see I have written gain of hydrogen, loss of oxygen. I can also write gain of electrons. Gain of electrons is also termed as reduction process, right? So in any process, if you see in any process, there is, for example, I am taking one example, Mg, magnesium plus 2, and it is taking 2 electrons and getting converted into Mg solid. So in this case, if you see, reduction of magnesium ion is taking place. Reduction of Mg2 plus ion is taking place. Is that okay, beta? Is that okay? Did you get this concept? This is gain, beta. Gain is always present in this side. And whenever you are writing any reaction, in that reaction, atoms. Yeah, that is right, Tharun, you are right. That is nice observation. If oxidation number decreases, then number of electron will definitely increase. Great. Okay, so I am telling you that in any reaction, always try to balance atoms as well as total charge. Total charge on the left hand side as well as right hand side should be same. Okay, total charge. So if you see here, there is charge of +2 and this is charge of -2. Okay, if you add, then it will become 0. So you do not see this is charge because of loss of 2 electron. That is why it is +2, and this is 2 electrons. So if you add, then here the total charge is 0, and right on the right hand side it is also 0. Shall I give you one more example? Shall I give you one more example? If you take chlorine and add 2 electrons, then it will become this thing, chloride ion. This is known as chloride ion. This is chlorine gas. This is also an example of reduction. Is that okay, beta? Please quickly respond. Is that okay? Yeah, thanks. Nice. So let us move to the oxidation. Oxidation process is nothing but, here it is gain. You can write loss of hydrogen. Here it is loss. You can write gain of oxygen, right? In this case, gain of electrons. You can easily write. You can write loss of electrons. And in the note, you can write increase of oxidation number. Yes. So if you have understood this process, reduction, then oxidation process is nothing but just reverse of that. Is that okay? So I'm writing it. Oxidation process. Okay, any reaction in which loss of hydrogen is taking place. Loss of hydrogen. In any case, loss of hydrogen is taking place, or loss of electropositive element. Second, gain of oxygen, or gain of any electronegative element. I am just writing the examples: fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, right? These things. So gain of oxygen or loss of hydrogen, very nice. Then third is loss of electrons. Is that okay, beta? Is that okay with everyone? So I am going to write some examples. Loss of hydrogen. If you say like this, MgH2 gives Mg solid and hydrogen gas, then you will say, in this case, loss of hydrogen is taking place. Right? So this is an example of oxidation. Similarly, if you can write again Mg plus oxygen, okay, Mg solid plus oxygen gas. If you burn Mg Raven, they call it Mg Raven. If you take Raven and you burn in the presence of oxygen, then it will provide you MgO. Okay, you can balance it. Okay, so this is also an example of oxidation. Yeah, twice MgO, you can also write 2 Mg plus O2, that will give. Or there is any process F minus, twice of F minus giving F2 gas and removing 2 electrons. I have taken 3 examples. You see, in all these 3 examples, in the first, it is loss of hydrogen. In the second, gain of oxygen. In the third, loss of electrons. But the last one is very important. Okay, is it okay, or shall I give you some more examples? Give few more examples. Okay. Oxygen wala you can get many more. Okay, let me write this here. Aluminium solid burned in presence of oxygen, then that will provide Al2O3. Okay, so this is an example of oxidation. Or let me write it, Fe2O3 plus aluminum, right? So in this case, just focus here. It will form Al2O3 plus Fe. I'm not writing state. So you see what happened for Fe2O3 to Fe. Here it is loss of oxygen is taking place, loss of oxygen. But for aluminum, if you see, gain of oxygen is taking place. Gain of oxygen is taking place. So if you see, in this case, in this example, reduction of iron, right, and oxidation of aluminum. Did you get this? Beta, did you get this example? Yeah, great. So in this case, you can easily see loss of oxygen is taking place for this substance, for iron. I am till now I am not discussing agent. Okay. So after covering the oxidation number, then we will discuss in detail about oxidizing agent, and reducing agent. So any one of you having any doubt regarding this reaction? So this the last one is very important, beta. Loss of electron also. You need to see loss of electron. So there might be question which we can deal with this or this or this. If loss of hydrogen taking place, gain of oxygen, or loss of electron, either of three process, either of three is happening in any chemical reaction, then that will be known as oxidation process. Now this type of reaction, in which you can see simultaneously loss of oxygen and gain of oxygen is taking place, such processes are known as redox process. Such processes are known as redox processes. Right? In this case, if you see, oxidation and reduction are taking place simultaneously. So such kind of examples are known as redox reactions, right? So till now, if everything is okay, we can move to oxidation number. Oh no, that is not important right now, Hanok. Displacement reaction, yeah, that is also an example of, okay, in that kind of reaction, in displacement type of reaction, there is no change in oxidation number, or you can say loss of oxygen or loss of that, it doesn't take place. So we do not term those kind of reactions as redox reaction, right, Hanok? Displacement reactions are not considered. Generally, they are not studied under redox reaction. They are very simple reactions. Anion will be exchanged, cation will be exchanged. Okay. So one electronegative element will go, other electronegative element will come. So we cannot define them under redox process. So let me move to another topic, that is oxidation number. So let us study oxidation number. Oxidation number. Okay, we can define it like this. Let's say there is any compound Mn, and it convert into MnO4. So the exact number of gain of electron or loss of electron for given element, the number of gain of electron or number of loss of electron, that is termed as oxidation number from its free state. So there are two terms: free state. What is free state and what is combined state? Free state बोले तो बेटा elemental state. It is nothing but elemental state. Okay, it is a state in which element or the atoms, they are not combined with some other element, atom of some other element. For example, hydrogen, chlorine, bromine, sodium, okay, calcium, magnesium, Hg liquid. these are all gases. Nitrogen, oxygen, these are all gases, beta. These are all gases. So you can see free state or elemental state, we can define the state of element which is found in nature. Okay, so you can see hydrogen is present in nature independently like this, freely like this, H2 as H2. Chlorine is, you can see it, chlorine exists like Cl2, bromine exists like Br2, sodium is like this, Hg is like Hg liquid. If you want to write I2, then Br2 liquid, I2 solid, beta. Right. So if you see, iodine exists as solid in solid state, but iodine is present in this molecular form. So you can see these are all homoatomic. Okay. So in this, no other element is present. If you take any example, for example, this, you see here there is no other element is present. Yeah, aluminum, you can also write aluminum. Okay. In combined state, beta, there will be more than one element. Combined state is nothing but compound. You can say in compound. Atoms of more than one elements are present. Of more than one element are present. Is that okay? Any doubt till now? Any doubt till now? Yeah, H2O. Very good. H2O. Yeah, Chaturteja, you are absolutely right. H2O, H2SO4, NaOH, HCl, right? KMNO4. So I am defining, yeah. So I am defining oxidation number. It is understood as gain of electrons or loss of electrons in the conversion or in the transformation of any element from free state to combined state. Right. For example, just see here, Mn. Okay. So I am just telling you oxidation number of any element in free state, okay, or in elemental state will be considered as 0. Okay. So the oxidation number here, it is 0. But right now I am just telling you, you will understand after some time that here the oxidation number of manganese is 7. So if it is converted from 0 to 7, then it must have lost 7 electrons. So the loss of 7 electrons will be termed as oxidation number of manganese. Okay. So I will be giving you some rules. Using those rules, you will be able to calculate the oxidation number of given element. So let me write the rules. If you have any doubt, please tell me. Rules to predict the oxidation number. First is simple, beta. Oxidation number of any element, of any atom in elemental state or free state. Elemental state, beta, or free state. Elemental state or free state is 0. Okay. So if something is present, that I have taken some example, aluminum solid, okay, some other thing, chlorine, right? P4 solid, S8 sulfur exists in this state, S8. Okay, silicon, right? So in all this case, the oxidation number is 0, 0, 0, 0. If someone asks you the oxidation number of sulfur in this S8, then it will be 0. In phosphorus, it is 0. So if something is present in its elemental state, then its oxidation number becomes 0. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah, fine. Then second rule is related to combined state. Oxidation number of any atom of given element in combined state. So we are dealing with, we want to calculate oxidation number of any atom beta, if it is in elemental state, or pure state or free state, then its oxidation number will be 0. You can take any example, Tharun, but it should be in its elemental state, right? So given element in combined state, combined bole to beta, it is present with some other atoms of other element, right? So I am writing first rule. If something is given in combined state, so first rule is summation of oxidation number of all the atoms of various elements in any compound is 0. I am giving one example. Let's say I am taking an example of KMnO4. Just focus here, beta. Right now, I do not know the oxidation number of potassium. I do not know the oxidation number of manganese. Even I do not know the oxidation number of oxygen. Let's assume oxidation number of potassium is X, oxidation number of manganese is Y, and oxidation number of oxygen is Z. But there are 4 atoms of oxygen, so we will write 4Z. If you add them, then it should be, the summation should be equal to 0. Is that okay, beta? Is that okay? Is that okay? Fine. So I am taking another example, SO3, let's say. So in this sulfur, let's say sulfur has P, oxygen has Z. So you have to multiply by 3 because there are 3 atoms of oxygen. The summation must be 0. Right? B, summation of oxidation number of all the atoms of various elements in any ion is equal to net charge present on ion. Let's say they have given you sulfate ion. Sulfate ion is SO4 - 2. Nitrate ion, beta, NO3 -. So I am writing these names and I ask you to remember this, that what is nitrate, what is sulfate. So in this case, let's say sulfate possesses P, oxidation number P, oxygen as usual Z. The summation must be equal to -2 because the net charge present on this ion is -2. So the summation of oxidation number of individual atom should be equal to net charge present on the ion, right? What about this thing, nitrate? You can take nitrate X, N for nitrate, and then 3O, it should be equal to -1. Is that okay? Yeah, summation should be equal to -1, right? Please see at the board, and if you have any doubt, sir, is oxidation number is -2? No, beta. Oxidation number is till now we have not learned the method to calculate oxidation number. I am just telling the summation should be the summation in this case KMnO4. The summation of potassium oxidation number of potassium, oxidation number of manganese, oxidation number of oxygen must be equal to 0. Tharun, did you get it? Yes, 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 yes. Great. Any doubt till now? Any doubt from your side? No. Okay, fine. Fine, guys. Okay, if there is any ion, okay, ion or any individual, there is any ion, if there is any ion, beta, if there is any ion, in that case, for example, chlorine or chloride or something like bromide, so charge present on the ion will be its oxidation number. Okay, so I'm writing here, I am writing note, charge present on the ion in any ionic compound is its oxidation number. I will give you example. For example, ionic compound. How will you identify ionic compound? Till now we haven't studied about ionic compounds. I am just giving you idea. Ionic compounds, salt. If you see any salt, salts are prepared by reaction of acid and base. So if there is any salt in the question, then that is also ionic compound. Then compounds made up of metal plus and non-metal. Compounds prepared from reaction of metal and non-metal, they are also termed as, for example, you can see NaCl, right? If you see Na, it is metal and Cl is non-metal. So I have already told you metals are present. If you see, non-metals are present on the right hand side of the periodic table. Metals are present in the left hand side, in the middle, or in the bottom of the right side, right? So if you see NaCl, then NaCl will become Na plus and Cl minus. So the oxidation number of sodium is +1 and oxidation number of chlorine is -1. Is that okay? Metallites are also present in the P block. P block. Yes, Pranay. P block. Okay, you just see at this. Just give me 2 minutes. Any doubt beta till now? Any doubt? Shall I move ahead beta? Shall I move ahead? So if you find any compound, okay, so basically you can write for this for like this NaCl, and I can also give you another example, MgBr2. Okay, so in this case it can be written as Mg plus 2, and this is 2 bromide ion. So oxidation number of Mg is nothing but plus 2, and it is minus 1. Is that okay beta? Is that okay? Yes, fine. Fine. So I'm writing some more rules. You need to follow these rules in the order. Okay, you need to follow these rules given in the order. Okay, so first rule is, I have already told you that oxidation number of any element in free state is 0, and oxidation number of any atom in combined state, the summation of oxidation number of all the atoms will be 0 in any compound, and summation of oxidation number of all the atoms in any ion will be equal to net charge present on the ion, right? Next, very important, oxidation number of fluorine always -1 in compounds beta. I am talking about compounds. If you see any compound and if fluorine is present there, then oxidation number will be -1. Okay, any compound, if you find any compound, okay, if it is present with other elements, other atoms of other element, then oxidation number of fluorine is -1, because fluorine is the most electronegative element. It is the most electronegative element. Right? No other element has more electronegative power than fluorine. Then second, first, second, oxidation number of fluorine is -1. This oxidation number of alkali metals is always +1 beta. Alkali metals. So do you know what are alkali metals? Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and also francium, but it is radioactive. Okay, on the similar lines, if you find oxidation number of any alkaline earth metal, that is always +2. Example, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, again radium, it is also radioactive. So I am going to give you some examples. Fluorine. Okay, fluorine, you can take any example, SrF2, right? So in this case, if you see the oxidation number, this will be -1, and oxidation number of Sr, if you see anywhere Sr, it is alkaline earth metal, so it will be +2. Or you take any example, P2O5, sorry, PF5. In this case also, fluorine will be having -1. Fluorine will be having -1, right? If you take KO2, in this case, potassium will be having +1. Always potassium belongs to alkali metal, so it will always take +1. BeO, the oxidation number of beryllium, okay, it belongs to alkaline earth metal, it will be +2. Any doubt beta? Any doubt? There are some more rules, we will discuss them in next class, but one rule I am going to discuss one more. There is one more. Fourth, hydrogen, oxidation number of hydrogen, very important, oxidation number of hydrogen. Hydrogen, if hydrogen is present with metal, okay, with metal, if it is present with metal, then its oxidation number is -1. And if it is present with non-metal, it's present with non-metal, then its oxidation number is +1. I will give you example. Like NaH, beryllium hydride, right? Mg hydride, right? B2H6. Okay, do not take B2H6. NH3, H2O, HF, right? So in this case, if you see hydrogen present with metal, so it will have -1. Here also it is present with, in this case also it is present with metal, so it will also have -1. Here it is also present with metal, so it will have -1. In this case it is present with non-metal, so it will have +1, right? So I am just writing -1, -1, -1, +1. This is also +1. This is also +1. Did you get it, beta? Did you get it? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thanks, thanks, thanks. So if some example is given, Na3AlF6, and I want you to ask the oxidation number of Al. Okay, just give me 2-3 minutes. Okay, in this example, if I want you to predict the oxidation number of aluminium, what will you do? In this case, what will you do? You know the oxidation number of sodium. It belongs to alkali metal, so it will be +1. But there are 3 atoms of sodium, so it will be 3 into +1. Let's say you do not know the oxidation number of aluminium. Take it as X, and you are already aware about the oxidation number of fluorine, that is -1. 6 into -1, that is 0. So if you check, the oxidation number of aluminium will come as +3. So it will be +3. Did you get this example? Did you get this example? Did you get this example? Please quickly respond. Yes. So I am writing some homework. I am writing homework. Find out the oxidation number of underlined element. Okay, I am writing SF6. I am asking for this thing. So in this case, you have to calculate for sulfur. This is first example. Second example, H2O, you need to find out for this. Third, H2O2. But fourth, KO2. In this case, you find this. Fifth, K2O2. Sixth, seventh, nitrogen. For you need to find out for nitrogen. Find for chlorine. IF3. Find for iodine. ClF5. Find for chlorine. So these are some. Yeah, beta. Third, but what we should find? You need to find out the oxidation number of underlined element, beta. For I can take one example. For example, SF6. You do not know the oxidation number of sulfur. I haven't given you any rule to find out the oxidation number of sulfur, but I have given that summation of all the oxidation number of all the atom must be 0 in any compound. So let's say oxidation number of sulfur is X, but we know oxidation number of fluorine, that is -1. So it should be 0. So the oxidation number of sulfur will come as 6. Is that okay, beta? Hanok? Third one, okay, fine. Oxygen. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Okay, fine. Please solve this, and we will meet in the next class. Just tell me the class was okay or not. Please quickly respond. How was the class? Did you understood it? Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I will share the notes on the Telegram. Yeah, fine. Fine. Thank you guys for your response. I will share the notes, beta. Yeah. Fine. Great. Bagundi. Okay guys, see you in the next class. Please revise all these notes. This looks very trivial, but you have to retain this for the next 2 years, at least for next 2 years. So please revise it. It looks very trivial, and practice all the questions which I have given you. Yeah beta Karthik, I will share the notes. Thank you guys. Okay.